Hello. Welcome to the Shunned Media podcast, our first one. And the series is called They Shouldn't Exist. We are sponsored by no one. They're everything and they're nothing. And we're not getting paid to say this, so that's just something about the brand. I'm Riddick, also known as Toast, and I'm joined here by my co host and best friend, Ethan, also known as Techney.
What's going on?
So we've had this idea for a while, and we decided, fuck it, let's do it. Uh, our main topics are usually going to be music, but this one is just a special one that we'll do every once in a while where we just hop in a call and just talk about what we're feeling like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, take it. What are you doing?
All right. So I guess what we should kind of start talking about is how we met. So Riddick and I actually met a couple years back in Rainbow Six Siege by complete accident. We were just randomly playing a game together, ran across each other. I thought Riddick was really funny, so I invited him to Discord, and we hung out and actually ended up talking for 6 hours after the night that we had met. And it actually ended up becoming just this like completely accidental just friendship that has turned out to actually be quite amazing over the past couple of years. I really got to say that I lucked out by randomly finding him in an R6 game of all places.
I couldn't agree more. That was definitely very lucky, and I'm very grateful.
I guess we should probably talk about why we're starting this podcast. So like Riddick said, we've been wanting to do something like this for a little bit of while. And we've both made content on and off over the years, Twitch streams and YouTube and stuff. But we have always talked about a podcast. We've never really acted upon it right until now. So we decided we're going to start up our own media company essentially and just go for it. So this one is going to be more of just a laid back conversational type where we talk about, again, whatever we're feeling. Obviously, because we met in Rainbow Six Siege, we're pretty big into gaming, as well as he mentioned music. We're really big metalheads. We love metalcore. We love the metal scene. Um, but that's more of Riddick's niche. I guess he's very, very intelligent about everything that's going on there. But I myself have a lot of music that I'm into. I love lots of different stuff like experimental rap and hip
He's into it
hop.
all. It's weird. It's
Yeah,
freaky.
I listen to just a little bit of everything. I love
1 second
music.
we'll be second like listen to full on deathcore, and then out of nowhere he'll cue something on the music bot, and then it'll just turn out to be like Tyler the Creator
Yeah,
or
Tyler the Creator, MF Doom.
this like this like Russian EDM shit.
Yeah,
Or just something like
lots
instrumental
of weird stuff.
ASMR. Great.
Um, so I guess we'll kind of continue on and talk about some of our favorite bands. Riddick, what is your top three bands right now?
Fuck. All right. I'm gonna have to stretch out a bit here and do some thinking, but I'm about to say number one would probably have to be Darko US.
Okay.
That'll have to be my number one right now.
Hmm.
Number two, Alpha Wolf, always. And number three, ah, Windwalkers.
Windwalkers
Oh
is
yeah,
just fantastic, dude. I love Windwalkers.
so good.
The tonality is incredible. Personally, right now, some of my favorite creators are MF Doom. I've gone back and listened to a lot of MF Doom lately. I love The Mouse and the Mask and Mad Villainy. Those have been like really hitting the spot because I've learning to produce. Ooh, probably. I mean, obviously, Polyphia has to be on there because both Riddick and I play guitar, and we are obsessed with the writing style for Polyphia. We adore what Tim Henson and Scott LePage are capable of doing on those instruments. It is absolutely phenomenal work. And I guess for a third one that I would have to pick, man, I think Polaris still has my number three spot. I really do think Polaris still has my number three
Uh,
spot. The guitar work
I,
of Rick Schneider and Ryan Sue is out of this world.
yeah, I might actually have to change my number three.
Mm.
Just these are hand in hand, but then I kind of forgot. Um, Buried Alive. That
Oh yeah, Charles
I'll
Caswell.
yeah, I might have to swap out Windwalkers for Buried Alive. Just Charles
Yeah,
Caswell.
yeah, Charles Caswell and
He's
his
my
wife are just
he is my
incredible.
yeah, him and Haley Caswell, they are absolute monsters, and Yeah, I kind of forgot about him for a minute,
Yeah.
but I'm about to say them just because listen to that
I
shit,
mean, geniuses
everything.
of music. I mean, absolutely. Like, Fig Saw in particular is actually my favorite track from
Ooh.
Buried Alive. Dude, the guitar work is just phenomenal. The noises that he makes
Yeah,
is just like he's the way that Buried Alive, for those who don't know, Buried Alive is a duo, Charles Caswell and Kaylee Caswell. They're a husband and wife that have been making music for a couple years together now, and Charles Caswell does the guitar and his wife does bass work. But Charles actually
he also does
does,
vocals.
yeah, vocals as well. But the guitar work, he primarily uses an 8-string guitar, and he incorporates elements of dubstep sounds and scrapes on his guitar, implementing deathcore vocals. It is absolutely incredible
It's
work.
fantastic. No one else can do this shit. It's crazy.
It's
If you
it's
look
such a
up,
unique sound.
it, they're actually they've gotten very big recently.
Mhm.
And so if you look up on YouTube Buried Alive covers, you will find barely anything. That's just how insane he is as a guitarist. Personally, I think he's the greatest guitarist to live with
Yeah,
how
right
young
now.
he is, and yeah, he's still very young. He is, he's been doing this forever. He originally played in a band called Reflections. If you listen to them, you can hear it in his music, except his music's a bit more technical.
Oh, absolutely.
Um,
Yeah, technical is
but
technical doesn't really come close to describing how
yeah,
incredible his music is. It's so intricate.
I'm gonna say though for my top three songs, about my number one without doubt is Barry's Alive, just
Oh
because
yeah.
that tapping intro and that solo. Um, Number two would probably have to be Hump.
Mhm,
Hump is
yeah,
a really good one. The
absolutely.
absolute insane solo. The dude is foot flutter. He uses the whammy bar to flutter, but he uses his foot. It's genius. Number three, so I'm gonna say this completely wrong, I'm sure, but Salida.
I haven't heard that song, so I would not know.
Uh, but it absolutely it's a soft one. No harsh vocals. It's for a good portion of it. It actually has some acoustic in it.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll have
and
to check
has
that out.
a the first solo in it is used completely by delay with a
Really?
delay pedal and everything. It is fantastic. It's a beautiful piece of work, and the lyrics are gorgeous.
Yeah, I love Buried Alive. Buried Alive is great. Well,
So good.
I guess you wanna continue on to the next topic? Yeah.
All right, so our next topic is gonna be um esports,
Yeah, dude.
particularly talking about Rainbow Six Siege,
Yeah,
because that esports scene right now is a fucking mess.
it's about to pop
Um,
off. I really do think it's about to pop
it,
off.
it it's a mess, but it's gonna pop off entirely.
Yeah.
It shouldn't pop off with the state it's in, but it's going to.
Yeah.
Um,
A little bit of extra context for Riddick and I's history. So after we met through Rainbow Six Siege, we ended up playing on a handful of comp teams together, which we will not name for personal reasons. But we
hell,
played on a we played on a handful of competitive teams together. They were only tier 4. They didn't really go anywhere, but we were very very invested in what we were doing, and we absolutely love the esport. We've learned a lot together. We've learned a
yeah.
lot about each other, playing together. Just it ultimately led us to becoming the as good of friends as we are today.
Um,
But yeah, Reddick, do you have anything in particular you'd like to talk about before I go on a whole
I
long spiel?
I want to talk about the teams that are leaving the pro league.
Oh, I don't actually know much about this, so please.
Oh, you don't.
No.
All right. So last year we had Siege decided to do something a bit drastic. Where they end up picking out um two major organizations. I'm sure you've heard of them. If you don't, look them up. You'll see how huge they are. Luminosity Gaming and Evil Geniuses.
Oh, you're talking
They
about
kicked both.
this, yes.
Oh, it just happened again with more teams.
Oh, did it really? There's more teams that are getting dropped?
Yeah, yeah. But Luminosity and Evil Geniuses won the first Invitational, which is their biggest event of every year.
That was still when they
And
were. Oh no, never mind. I'm sorry. I was thinking of a different team. I was thinking of Continuum, but they rebranded to Rogue. Actually,
no, Continue went into Evil Geniuses.
did they really? I thought no, but Evil Geniuses has been around since like '98. I thought.
They've been around for ages, but yeah, Continuum. Their Continue roster turned into Evil Genius. So
Gotcha. Okay.
um but basically some shitty contracts were thrown at a lot of these organizations, and Luminosity and Evil Geniuses just couldn't do it, and they ended up having to be dropped from Pro League, which is unfortunate because they were absolutely fantastic teams.
Yeah. Not
Um,
only were they incredible at what they do, they were some of the longest standing teams in the pro league, and it's really
yeah,
unfortunate. So, for those who don't know about the situation, a lot of, well, specifically the Rainbow Six Siege Pro League in the United States is moving specifically to a LAN league out in Las Vegas, and Evil Geniuses and Luminosity couldn't spare the funds to actually be moving out there to set up entire shops and like pay for all of their staff to move out there and their players. It was just way too much money for them to be spending, and they ended up having to drop, which I think is absolutely insane that they have to drop such huge organizations simply because they're doing a LAN only league. I think they should have absolutely worked out a compromise for them just because of how much Evil Geniuses has done. I mean, as small by comparison the original Invitational was, they were still good games. They were still great games to watch, and they brought in a ton of revenue for Ubisoft as a company. And I think it was unfair to them to just leave them hanging so poorly.
yeah, and especially why? Come on, Las Vegas, Nevada. Come
Yeah,
on.
I don't know why they would choose Las Vegas. I mean, there's
But yeah, they could have picked
because
a place that's like everyone wants to go to, like California or New York, someplace like that. Everyone like
yeah.
I'm sure everyone else would like, yeah. But Las Vegas is a very expensive place to live, so
Yeah,
that
I
was a
mean,
bit,
not to say that California or New York don't have like incredibly high like
yeah,
cost of living, but I don't know why they would choose Vegas of all places because it's not like they're missing out on venue sizes for being in Vegas. I mean, I kind of understand why they would do that. I mean, there wasn't really a disclosure on like why specifically they would choose Vegas, but I don't really understand why. I personally don't understand why they wouldn't go to a place like, I mean, even Orlando, even like just there's a lot of real estate and a lot of really good venues in other places besides Vegas. Because I feel like Vegas is a bit isolated for them to be hosting LAN events and stuff like that. It just feels a little bit out of the way, if you know what I mean.
yeah. Um, but something similar happened. Then it's not exactly the like the same really, but it's the same. I remember what rosters it was. Uh, Tempo Storm, Sonics, and there's another Challenger League team. I think there are two more Challenger League
It
teams.
was Wild Card, yeah, from Australia.
No, they just didn't have enough players.
Oh, okay.
For the invitationals. But Tempo Storm, Sonics, and then Nordic, I believe.
Oh yeah, yeah. Nordic would.
And yeah. And then there's one more. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Oh, was it Noaranga? Maybe.
I don't remember,
I'm not sure.
but oh yeah, but they all got the boot. So that situation with Sonics, I actually don't know fully. All I know is that one of their players basically backstabbed all the other players
Oh yikes.
into getting another roster. If I that's all I heard. I didn't pay attention to it, but
That's
all
rough.
I know is that but everyone except for who's the toxic cunt? The one that is it easily?
That's
Yeah,
maybe.
easily. Yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, easily. Basically, from what I hear, stabbed him all in the back. Um,
That's rough too.
and the best part is that the players that he fucked over, they end up tweeting a picture of them all in a restaurant. It's titled "The Last Supper," and everyone's at the table except for Easily.
Yikes.
And so someone was like, "Where's Easily?" And they said, and so they commented, "Was Judas invited to the Last Supper?"
Yes, but that's
Yeah,
irrelevant.
but
I mean,
yeah,
if
that shit was
if
funny as
Judas had
fuck.
done
But
what he did after the fact, probably
yeah,
not. But you know,
yeah, it's just that Easily was the cameraman, so he's the only one not in the photo.
gotcha.
But
That's
yeah,
funny.
he fucked him over. I don't know exactly what happened with Nordic and Tempo and the
That's
other
rough
one,
though.
but all I remember is that they just didn't have the funds. I know Tempo didn't have the funds for it, which
Yeah.
is a shame. Not like they
Yeah.
were good anyways,
Yeah,
but
tempo was really disappointing, honestly. I they did it really, really well in Challenger League, just
yep.
absolutely sweeping the floor from what I remember at least. It's been a while since I've checked on Tempo's old stats from Challenger League a couple years ago, but from what I remember, they're doing absolutely well. Because they were Two Face Gaming, right? Wasn't that them?
I think
That
so.
sounds right. Yeah, because I remember watching, I believe, their game before they got picked up by Tempo. I believe at least.
Yeah,
Those were
I
Challenger
that
League
sounds
a
right.
while ago was incredible, dude. Such good talent, just coming up
Yeah,
and rising through the ranks.
yeah. Same with I used to watch the Benelux leagues. That shit was so entertaining. It's all European, but
Really? Okay.
some content creators who did comp, they actually got to play in LAN. The reason I got into it was because of Hicks Cap, which because he was like the first Siege YouTuber I actually started watching him
Mhm.
and Serenity.
Yeah, dude. Serenity.
But
That does Serenity still make content?
he disappeared again.
Really? That sucks.
He was consistently uploading and then he just disappeared again. Don't know why.
Hmm.
But I'm sure he'll be back again.
Yeah,
But
probably.
Hicks Cap played for a team called Frag. Yeah, yeah, Frag Gaming or some shit like that. And
Gotcha.
I ended up watching them play LAN in Benelux. Another YouTuber that was on there was Badger, who people used to call the EU Bolo or some shit like that. I
Gotcha.
know he had a video called EU Bolo. It's just because he was really nasty.
Gotcha.
Um, but they played on a team together. They went to LAN, got demolished. It was very
That's
entertaining
rough.
watching me get demolished. I'm trying to remember who it was. All I remember from the enemy team was what's his name?
What team does he play
I
for?
I don't know now, but he plays with Spoit a lot.
Oh,
He
well, damn.
he's insane. The dude has some of the best thing I've ever seen. And now I believe I believe he's in Challenger League now, but he deserves it. That dude, him and one other guy from that team, they both dropped like 20 kills each from what I remember.
Really? Wow.
And yeah, it was very entertaining. And I watched the rest of the games from the Benelux League. They just ran through everyone, and then one team got just lucky.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So, what do you think about the R6 World Cup? I am so excited for that to be happening. I don't know when it's gonna happen. Because they said it was supposed
yeah,
to happen this summer. It was originally supposed to happen this summer, but obviously because of COVID, we can't go anywhere to actually have a full blown
yeah.
World Cup. Um, but let me Google and see if they have any renewed dates. But while I'm looking this up, Riddick, what do you think about it? Are you excited for the biggest R6 competition ever?
Uh, I am. I think the only year I didn't watch was year 4. Uh,
For the
last year,
Invitational?
yeah.
Okay.
The My favorite invitational so far was last year with Ninja in
Hmm.
Pajamas and Space Station.
Oh, dude, that those
Um,
games were absolutely phenomenal.
I was rooting for Ninja in
I
Pajamas the
really
entire.
wanted Ninjas to win. I
They
wanted
were
them.
underdogs. I truly believe the only reason SSG won was because they got a free match because
Yeah, if SSG did not
NIP
have that map up, they would have won that entire. The Ninjas in Pajamas would have won that entire
because
series.
it was a 2-1 and then SSG um beat them like it was like 7-5 or some shit like that.
I can look up actually. Since I'm here
Yeah,
on
it was
Wikipedia.
insanely close, and they would have been another 2 matches, but they were given a free round. So
Yeah, which is kind of unfortunate to be completely honest. It's because I really did because Ninjas in Pajamas was not who anybody expected to
yeah,
come out on top of
because
that, just
they
at
didn't
all.
they didn't do bad pro league, but you never heard about like
That
you
wasn't like
never
who people were talking about. People would always talk about
yeah
TSM, people will talk about G2, people will talk about Empire, but you'll hear some stuff about Team Liquid, but you didn't really hear all the hustle and
NIP
bustle
stuff.
about NIP. Yeah, it just
It's
never was.
they came out of nowhere. I know they ended up picking up Muzi that year, and what a pick that was. That
Yeah,
dude is
absolutely. Just
he,
incredible performance that year from him.
yeah. But I remember him and was it Kamikaze? I know Kamikaze. No, it was Julio. Julio. He's
Hmm.
the one. He was like the fucking MVP for every match that they played.
Oh,
He had an
absolutely.
absolute yeah, him, Kamikaze and Muzi, absolutely outstanding performances from all of them. And it was so much fun to watch, and just listening to the crowds root for them on the Twitch stream,
Hmm.
absolutely amazing. Something that makes me mad, even Cypher got to go to the Invitational last year, which just
Oh, that's
uh,
rough.
that makes me so mad. He always rubs it in.
Hey, dude, I would be so pissed.
He's like, "Look at this jacket I got at the Invitational." I'm like, "No one cares, buddy."
Cypher will be
But
there soon enough again, but he'll be on the stage.
yeah, I know it's crazy. He is apparently he joined back with the NSO.
Did he really? I
Uh,
didn't know that. That's awesome for him.
yeah, I remember we slammed them. They disbanded. They got another roster. If I remember correctly, I think it was the roster that was cheating. Um, and
In what
then
league? Oh
they
my god.
I don't remember, but from what I heard, that they had a full roster of like cheaters and stuff.
Oh my god,
They
that's
weren't there
awful.
long, but now Gromlin, Shaggy, and Snowy all play on their main team, and then
Gotcha.
Cypher plays on their academy team because Cypher's not 18 yet. But yeah, considering all those guys are there, especially Snowy. Snowy
Oh,
is
that's
gonna,
totally right. Yeah.
yeah, they're supposed to be playing Challenger League this summer, I believe,
That's awesome.
or the qualifiers,
So,
and I know
for
they're gonna
some
do
for,
great.
for some extra context, so Snowy was one of the our team members. He was our flex, or did Snowy play entry? I think he switched between the two. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of unimportant. But
but
Snowy was our,
yeah,
our flex and entry fragger for an old team that we used to play on. And he actually ran into the buddies that Riddick used to play on a team on after I quit playing
just
competitively.
I played with them until December 14th, 2020. Because one of our players, Gromlin, he wanted to go do Challenger League because he's turning 18 soon. So him and Shaggy both joined a team, and then Snowy joined that, and then they have another buddy we played ranked with. Not you, Ethan, but his name is
Hmm.
Drix. He's a machine as well. But yeah, that roster, I don't know who their fifth is, but that roster,
That's a powerful
holy,
roster. I mean, obviously, people who wouldn't know them personally don't quite understand, but Cypher's YouTube channel has actually been popping off lately quite a bit. I think he's up to like
yeah.
maybe 300 subs now. Let me go look.
Uh,
So Cypher is actually he's at 256. He's racking a lot of views though for a small channel, which is absolutely incredible to see. I am definitely really hoping to see Cypher in Pro League eventually, because that would just be awesome to be able to see that whole success story from start to finish.
yeah, he is. He's a great player, and I'm glad I got to play with the team with him because he's incredible for how old he is. Because I'm just a little bit older than him. Um,
Mhm.
he just turned 16, and he has more mechanical skill right now than I'll have in the next 3 years.
Yeah,
He's extremely talented, as are all the guys I played with.
yeah,
Even though that our fifth was always a new person every month.
hmm
Um, but
very talented players,
yeah,
all of them.
all of them. And I'm very thankful that I got to play on teams with them because I wouldn't have learned some things about the community and comp scene if I didn't play on a team with them because it
Yeah.
was always just hopping between team to team. I was on there for nearly a year, so
Hmm.
but yeah, I'm so excited for the summer to watch NSO play if they're still on NSO, that is just that roster.
But jumping back to the R6 World Cup, by the way, it's actually supposed to be. It was supposed to take place in July of this year, but they haven't given a month. But it's going to happen next year, supposedly, which is
Hmm.
really exciting. Right now, the countries that they have set up are Australia, Brazil, Canada, Chinese Taipei, which I think that's a mix. I don't think they're just doing Chinese players. I think they're doing like just a handful of Southeast Asia. But they're
Okay.
also doing France, Germany, Italy, Japan, South Korea, Mexico, Russia, and Spain, alongside the UK and the US. None of the players have been decided quite yet, and there are still some extra countries that are going to be invited. There's 6 more countries that are going to be invited to the event, which is
Oh yeah.
exciting. That's just absolutely. I mean, just thinking about all of the different countries or the different nationalities of the incredible players that we have currently in Pro League is just going to be incredible to see. Especially if we get Empire's full roster to play for Team Russia, that's going to be an incredible superpower for the World Cup because I mean they're already practiced together. They've got some incredible players under their belt. Like Karjeka is currently my favorite player on Empire because of that. Do you remember that highlight from the bank game where he shotgunned to open a hole with Mozzie and defused through the wall and prevented the defuse denial?
Yep.
Incredible, incredible player, and
Didn't
especially
Karjeka switch teams?
did he? I didn't think he
I
did.
I I someone from Empire moved to Team Secret. I'm trying to remember. They switched to someone. Yeah.
Let me go check real quick actually because I didn't. Oh, dude, Karjeka's playing for Rogue now.
Rogue, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, he's on
Yeah,
a team with
they
Aces, Leon Gids, Corey, and Rips. Wow.
yeah. I Reps is a
That's
machine. That's a
dude.
good that's a very good roster.
Dude, look at Team Rogue did a rebrand. Look at their new logo. Hold on, I'm gonna send it to you real quick.
Did
Check this
did
out.
they now?
It's very, very sleek. I like that a lot. I mean, I've always loved Rogue's logo, but that is absolutely a fantastic rebrand right there.
That is yeah, it's nice.
Um, well, do you want to talk about some R6 balancing? Because I know we have a lot of strong opinions on the state of the game and like what we want to see change coming up. I know we've talked about R6 quite a bit, but I mean it's so heavily in our history together. You know, I mean, how could we not talk about that for the first episode?
Exactly. Um let's get into it. I'm gonna start off with probably the biggest issue right now. The cheaters.
Yeah, it's sad. It's really, really getting on my nerves.
Um, so Ubisoft came out with their statistics for last year of
Hmm.
how many cheaters they had, or at least how many got banned. And it was over 90,000 if I remember correctly, which is, and most of them happened in like July, which is absolutely astounding.
Hmm.
But they told us after the last month, everyone has been tweeting, ranting, just going all over the discords, and just talking about how bad the cheating situation is.
Hmm.
For instance, me and Ethan, we played with some friends last month, or just a few weeks ago, actually, uh, and 3 games in a row we got cheaters.
Oh
It was
yeah.
crazy. Yeah, and then after those games, we played 2 normal games, and then the game after that, another cheater. Um, then I went to my Discord, my old team, because we still talk, and they all said that they're playing cheaters, and it's so bad. It doesn't matter what rank you're playing cheaters constantly,
Which, by the way,
and
this is not like diamond and champion level play. We're not like incredible at the game. We just really enjoy playing it. And
yeah,
so right now, Riddick and I are sitting at like high gold, low plat, whatever, mid plat for
I'm
Riddick.
plat
But
one.
yeah,
Fuck
you're
you.
you're okay. You're plat one. I was intentionally not trying, but that just sounds like an
Yeah,
excuse. Anyways,
yeah,
but yeah, looking at the battle eye statistics, so there was 47,898 battle eye bans in 2020, and it's really they only tracked it up to May for some reason. I don't know. So
yeah. I
from
don't know why
okay,
they did it
so
like that.
from December to May there was 47,898 with over 12,000 bans in the month of April,
Yeah,
which is
I know that.
fantastic. I love that there was 12,000
Yeah.
people that are no longer being able to play this game. But
I remember they tracked it after that, and it was just an obnoxious number. And then they
yeah,
went
I'm
like
looking
their
at an old
actual like
dev blog
full
right
year.
now.
Yeah, but they came out with like the actual like full list. But
Yeah, this one came
that
out in June. Yeah, this one is from June 30th of 2020.
yeah, they just came out with one earlier last week, I believe. But
Gotcha.
they are talking about fixing up their anti cheat because right now they use Battle Eye, which just awful. It's so bad. It's such a terrible anti cheat,
Yeah,
and
Battle Eye has been
everyone
really
keeps
slacking.
and they said that they're gonna continue working with Battle Eye, which is insane. Everyone keeps telling them to do kind of what Riot does with Valorant, make
Mhm.
their own anti cheat. Valorant has fuck all cheaters because their anti cheat that they made, it's insane.
So
Um,
actually, I'm not sure if you do you know how it works because it's actually quite interesting.
I do not. All I know is
Okay,
it's really good.
so the way that Valorant's anti cheat works is so it's called Riot Vanguard, for those who don't know. And the way that Riot Vanguard works is it essentially embeds itself in like the deepest processing of your computer. I'm not like a computer expert, so I'm probably gonna get some of this wrong. But the way that your computer works is that several levels of processing, and the deepest processes that happen inside of your computer are in a level called kernel processing. And essentially, what Riot Vanguard does is, as your computer boots up, every single time your computer boots, it takes a snapshot of the kernel processing and essentially shows your PC with no apps open and shows how it should be running. So that if something extra is running on top of Valorant, it'll automatically know because that app was not appearing there before, and it can literally see from the depths of your PC what apps are running.
That's
Which
awesome.
so there was a lot of controversy about it. Even I had some strong opinions about it when Valorant was first coming out. Because I was really worried about just I was worried about the invasion, the privacy invasion. But eventually, I got to the point where I realized that I didn't really care, which is not a great mentality about it because I'm not sure how the data is being processed or where the data if the data is being stored or not. But I mean,
Epic
obvious,
Games.
yeah. But obviously Riot would be standing in front of the largest class action lawsuit of their entire company's lives if they were to be harvesting data from people and people found out. That would just be
Yeah.
the wrong move, and especially with how much money they're making off of League of Legends and Valorant as of now, there's no reason
They're
monetarily for them as a company to be harvesting data. So I don't know why they
yeah.
would be. Um,
I mean, there's no reason for Epic Games to do it, but
yeah,
they love Korea.
yeah. But yeah, but I mean, it isn't because that was because of Tencent, I think, because Epic Games owns Tencent or Tencent owns Epic Games or something really weird like that. Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. Something there's some weird crap. I don't really understand what's happening with Epic Games right now either. But yeah, no, I've been really wanting Rainbow Six Siege to actually move off of Battle.line entirely, move to easy anti cheat, so the Fortnite anti cheat,
The
because
Rust anti-cheat. Yeah.
yeah, Rust, Fortnite. I'm trying to think of some other
I think
games.
no Arma uses Battle Eye, which will explain why it's so
Yeah,
broken.
Arma's got a lot of problems though. But I mean,
That's
Um, Rust and Fortnite are some great examples of where that anti cheat is working quite well. I haven't played
especially in
Fortnite.
Rust right now.
Oh yeah, Rust.
It's
They're
working
really
very
cracking
good.
down on cheaters like really bad. They're not doing anything about recoil scripting because like that's really easy to just like get under the radar because you can run that on like your Chroma
Yeah.
app or like in your Corsair app, which is whatever. I mean, it's just people just not being fun to play against, but actual
And
like aimbotters
they're usually
though.
bad. That's one thing I like about Rust is the recoil is so it's still predictable, but at the same time it's super hard to learn. So you're better off just learning the recoil rather
Yeah,
than trying to make a macro of it because if if you use a macro in your Razer app or your Corsair app, you have to make it yourself.
yeah,
Meaning,
exactly.
meaning so you have to learn it to make the macro.
Yeah,
Um,
it's really weird though because like you said, there are a lot of Rust players that use macros that just suck. But
what a lot of people do is they'll go into their Razer or Corsair app, and
mhm,
the first like 5 shots in the AK are like it's basically just jumping up to the left a tad bit.
mhm,
Which anytime I use the AK in that game, I usually just spray those 5 bullets and I can control it. Or if I feel like spraying, I'll do the full spray. And thankfully, I spent a month learning that shit, so it got a lot easier. But
yeah,
what most people will do is they'll actually just make a macro where it shoots those first 5 shots and resets. Um, so
gotcha.
that they're so then their first 5 shots are completely accurate and they'll just spam that basically.
Interesting. I
um
didn't know that actually. I'm not
it's,
a huge Rust player.
yeah, I'm not either.
Well, you
But
used to
yeah,
be
it's
more than I was.
oh yeah. But yeah, no, it's easy anti-cheats really getting good now. I personally think that Siege should just make their own and do exactly what Valorant Vanguard
Yeah,
does,
kernel
or
level
Riot
processing.
Vanguard. That because they keep saying, and every dev blog they do about cheats, which isn't often because they're very lacking and they don't pay attention to their community. The only person they pay attention to, sorry, people. The only person they pay attention to is a shitty YouTuber who just complains about every aspect of the game, and Ubisoft says, "Let's do that."
Yeah.
Um,
I
it's it doesn't even make sense. Like it makes sense if it was like their most popular YouTuber, but it's not. It's not.
yeah.
And there's like, yeah,
So
there's so
for those who don't know what we're talking about, so Bikini Body is an R6 YouTuber who primarily plays casual. He's not like supposed to be good at the game. That's not his job. Is to be his gaming skills are lacking when it comes to R6, and you know, he just kind of rakes in a ton of money off of just casual garbage. Um, but he has this very niche cult following that essentially adores
they're
every
the
single concept
they're
that he does
the,
or
they're
provides.
the YouTube and Ubisoft equivalent of Redditors.
Yeah,
Where
it's
basically, they're trying to follow, they're following Bikini Body until they're in fucking Jonestown.
yeah,
Um,
it's like this really weird following that he has that like because there's not another siege YouTuber that has a following quite like Bikini Body that is just like a cult basically. It's quite
Scientology.
shocking. But so it's interesting to see because we don't know why to this day like other YouTubers have
Why
talked
he's
about it,
doing it.
and like even like one of the casters Parker McKay or Intero, he's been a caster with R6 for literally its entire lifespan,
He's
and
probably the biggest pastor right now.
yeah, he's like one of the most popular casters. He does a lot of streaming alongside his good friend Kickstar, and even he has talked about like Bikini Body being like the unofficial dev of the game because everything he's attempted to put in motion has been put in motion. Like one of
Yep.
the most popular example would be Bashi ACOG, which personally I didn't really have an issue with Bashi ACOG. It
Yeah.
didn't really add much to the game. The gun kind of just sucks. It doesn't fit in the climate. It was a fun idea, but it doesn't fit in the
But it
climate of
just
Rainbow
doesn't work.
Six
It just
Siege.
doesn't work.
And it was just this supposed to be this goofy little thing. But then there was just some other stuff. I don't. Buddy, do you know what the other stuff was? Because I remember it, but I don't. Like I remember it happening, but I don't remember it right off the top of my head.
Um, he made a bunch more just awful ideas that would just ruin the game. Mostly just for casual. He mostly wanted these things added for casual play,
Yeah.
and they went. They were like, nah, it's kind of shitty, and we're like, yeah, we know. And then he came up with the idea. He came up with this years ago for the
Hmm.
Tachanka rework because
That's
that it
right.
took
It
him
was
six.
the Tachanka rework.
Yep, but basically they took away Tachanka's LMG and made it a primary weapon, which it's not like it's like very good primary weapon. It just the fire rate is just atrocious.
Yeah,
But
it's
like
abysmal.
for how much damage it does and how little recoil it has, it just doesn't really make sense. But
Yeah,
it's
it's
just not
scary.
it's not viable. It's not really it's a scary gun, but like it's not viable and it doesn't make sense. It makes sense to his lore,
Yeah,
but his whole lore is he collects like Soviet weapons from like World War II and shit.
yeah,
Now his new ability is a Mosin Nagant with a modified barrel to shoot incendiary grenades, and like yeah, it's good because Smoke was like the only person on defense that could do that,
hmm,
but it's just not even a good gadget. Yeah, he can like bank shot it, which is really useful, but they shouldn't have given him the LMG. They only gave him that LMG because Bikini Body said so, and all
yeah,
his sweaty ass redditors Georgia's sitting there like, yes, add it. And they're like, you don't really want to. And they ignored him for 4 years. And then they
yeah,
said, you know what? The Redditors won't stop. Let's do it. And they did it. And no one was approving.
yeah.
No
Like
one.
I
He's a he's
was.
a he's a good op now, but like fuck.
Yeah, I mean, Tachanka wasn't fitting into the climate of modern Rainbow Six Siege. He wasn't really fitting into the climate of ancient Rainbow Six Siege either. Because Tachanka's like has always been that really just like that sore thumb that kind of sticks out on defense, which was really unfortunate. But I wish they had done something different. I wish they would have just delayed the rework, kept him useless like he always has been, and just done a better idea. Because the way that the turret functions, again, it just doesn't work. It's just it it's a body shot machine. It's not good for headshots. I mean, it's clunky. If I'm gonna pre-fire a doorway, I don't want there to be a full it. It feels like that there's going to be a full split second where an attacker can get all the way through, and I'm not going to be able to follow up and get the kill because of my fire rate being absolutely abysmal. It's just quite. It was just as disappointing as it could have been. It really was. Like, it was exciting to see that Chichanka was getting a change, but the way that it actually got implemented, and the things that they had to do to prevent his gadget from being overpowered, just made him kind of underplayed. Like, you rarely see him in the rank scene just at all. I don't believe he's still allowed. I don't think he's allowed in Pro League yet or competitive play.
Uh,
I'm not
no, he is.
sure. Is he
Because
allowed
he
still?
was added. I believe so because he was added when Zero was added.
Oh,
He was
was it
added
really that
halfway
long
through.
ago? Yeah.
Yeah, he was the mid. Yeah, he was the mid-season reinforcement. So I believe they did allow him in Pro League.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess that would make sense because we've already passed midseason for
Yeah,
Neon Legacy or whatever this season's called.
yeah,
Neon Dawn,
Neon
but still.
Dawn.
Um, yeah, it's kind of sad to see like just like really weird stuff happening in the game because there's a lot of stuff that really isn't happening that needs to be happening. Because me and Riddick have talked about this like extensively before, but or we've talked about balancing extensively before, but I've always had the idea of altering the UMP 45 that is currently on Pulse to be a 9mm UMP by increasing like the fire rate and cutting back on the damage to make it in between the UMP 45 and the MP5. Um, because right now though, like Pulse is also in a good spot with his gadget and his kit, but in a very weird spot with his ranged second or his ranged primary weapon. Because the M1014, one of the best shotguns in the game right now. It is a fantastic shotgun that you can either hip fire or you can ADS with it, and it does incredible damage from short to almost mid range. It's great for him doing the floor banging that he needs to do to be able to secure kills from a different level, but right now the UMP 45 is just not doing what it needs for his roaming capabilities, and it really cuts back on, in my opinion, it really cuts back on the creativeness that you can do with Pulse because you're so worried about not being able to win a good gunfight from long range because you feel like you can't fight back because the UMP 45 has a just terrible damage drop off, but it also has an incredibly low fire rate that just doesn't click together. So you have to play really oddly passive with Pulse and sit in odd corners and just play kind of rat like in order to be able to secure kills the safest way possible. I mean, it's the
Yeah,
same reason that Cav is no longer a viable operator is because in year 5, almost year 6, people have started learning how to drone. And it's just
yeah.
is ruining, not ruining, but it's
That's how the game was supposed to be played.
people are getting better and it's drawing back on certain aspects of certain operators in the sense that there's not really a good counter to it besides just having to win gunfights when you get pinched.
Yeah,
Unless you actually have a coordinated team and you can duo or trio roam, and there's actually something that G2 uses called like the 2 or 3 second rule, where essentially you are no farther than 2 or 3 seconds of a run from your team's roaming. So your two roamers are going to be 2 or 3 seconds from each other, so that if there is a pinch happening, you as the other roamer can intercept and help them secure the kills. So without that though, Pulse really starts to lack though. It's quite sad.
we used Pulse when I was still on Ascend, which is my last team. We used Pulse on Clubhouse.
Hmm.
Absolutely, he's a fantastic op, and at almost every round I'd get a kill with a C4 every
Hmm.
single time. But it's just not a very viable weapon. His weapon is just it doesn't fire fast enough. It needs a it just needs to fire faster. There's nothing else you can do. You can't up the damage, can't lower the recoil. The gun has no recoil. The gun does fantastic damage. It's just it doesn't shoot how it should. It should shoot faster. They should give him a different either give him a different weapon or just fix this one, give him a better version of it because
Yeah,
right now his gunplay is so lacking. You just have to aim for the head and hope they don't move
yeah.
because
It feels a lot
like
like
with other
Capita's Para 308 does,
yeah,
because like
but the
they
pirate
both
that's
suffer.
faster.
Yeah, it's not only is the Para shoot faster, but it has a higher capacity magazine and a higher damage or a lower damage drop off with a 1.5 on a 3-speed operator. Like
Yeah,
it's just like Capitao is still playable, even though the Para is not the best gun, but like Pulse just suffers in anything that's not close range. Because, even though the 30-second meta has actually been sort of killed this season, At least from my experience, it's sort of been killed.
It has.
But
It
I
has.
would really have to say that gunfights have increased in skill cap, and there's not as much that you can do with Pulse or Cav for that matter if you would like to play those operators. And it feels like it draws back from the game, creatively at least. Because, in my opinion, I would assume you feel the same way, but Rainbow Six Siege is an art form, in a sense. It's
It
a
is.
lot about being able to coordinate together in such a way that you I'm trying to think about like how to essentially like describe. You have a set of tools in front of you, right? You have your an artist has a paintbrush, a pen, a pencil, right? But the way that you use those tools isn't completely in the eye of the beholder, right? And there is a lot of creative potential on both attack and defense. But right now, because of the state of the game and certain operators and the way that those operators are now being detrimented because of the current meta, we no longer have certain tools available to us because of meta.
Yeah. We've been ranting on about this for quite a while
Yeah,
now.
it's like 25 minutes.
um, I don't know where to go from here. You want to talk about some music for a bit?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about some music. What is some music you're excited for, Rick?
Right now, thing I'm most excited for right now is Darko US's new album. They Tom and Baby J, they keep because they're a duo, which
Hmm.
it's astounding that Baby J can do the drum work he does because he's a machine. And saying he can do that and play a 9 string guitar,
Hmm.
left-handed, inverted strings.
Oh.
I love thaw music; it's so good. But he teased that he did a teaser that they've made so many songs already.
Hmm.
Because every month they're dropping a new song, which is amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
especially for a
and
duo
I'd
that's
be
producing
I
themselves. Like,
I with how good their music is, I would wait a year for a single, and I would have no issue because they are just fantastic. But they're dropping a new song every single month. They've already come out with an EP. They're coming out with an album, and then right after that album, they're coming out with another because they have so many songs done.
wow.
Um, Baby J keeps posting teasers, and I am so excited. But my top 3 albums I'm most excited for, without a doubt, Darko, Novelist, and
Oh, that's right. The new Novelist album is supposed to be dropping soon, yeah?
yeah, and Era's new album.
Oh, yeah, that's right,
Yeah,
dude.
that comes out March
House of
21st, I
Glass,
believe.
Scorpion Hymn. Ooh, that
Yeah, the
album's gonna be
Visionaries comes out.
incredible.
It's gonna be so good. And then another band, even though I haven't listened to this band very much, Carbon Jaka, that band I showed you.
Yes, tell me a
The,
little about tell me a little
the,
bit about them.
uh, just they're astounding. I don't know much about them. They just came out with a new song actually like 2 or 3 days ago.
Oh yeah,
Very good. Yeah, very very good.
they're
They are
Norwegian. Yeah,
Swedish.
Swedish.
They're
Okay.
they're a very interesting band because like their guitar work is just it has like a real periphery mixed with uh I just a periphery vibe. I can't describe it, but
Yeah.
real periphery vibe. Not as technical by any means, but they have some real nice riffs and shit like that that just give off real periphery vibes. Their vocals are pretty unique.
Yeah, absolutely.
And looks it's just good because you read that name, you read Carmen Jaka, and you're just like, what? You're expecting some Bob Marley type shit, and you just
Hmm.
get slapped with, amazing guitar work, some clean, nice cleans, some very very nice screams,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, I'm just excited for that album because from the 3 singles I've heard so far,
Hmm.
it sounds extraordinary, and it's their first album as well
Oh
because
yeah.
all they have is an EP and 3 or 4 singles. Very excited for that. What about you? What albums are you most excited for?
Ooh. Well, there is a psych band that I listen to, psychedelic porn crumpets. They're an Australian band. They just
Hmm.
came out with their first album of 2021. I believe it is called Shyga. Yeah, it is called Shyga, Shyga. It's on all caps. The Sunlight Mound. It's a very, very upbeat psychedelic album with a lot of very, very unique riffs in it. I've absolutely adored their guitar work in High Visceral's Part 1 and 2, and especially for their other album, and now for the whatchamacallit, which the names are a little hard to follow, but if you can get past like the band name and the very odd album names, it's an absolutely incredible experience to listen to them. Their vocals are unlike anything that I really can compare to, honestly. It's just incredible work. I listened to all of Shy Get today. Phenomenal work. The singles that they released from that album were like, I believe it was Tally Ho, Mr. Prism, and Mundungus. Mundungus has some of the best psychedelic guitar work I have
That was
ever
good.
heard. Like
Yeah,
Riddick
I
is
listened
not a
to that with
huge fan of psychedelic rock, and he loved Mundungus because of the guitar work.
my nuggets. I like psychedelic porn crumpets. But Nuggets was fabulous. I don't know why I said fabulous out of all words. It was very very good.
Yeah,
Um, I was very impressed because I'm not a huge psychedelic person, but psychedelic porn crumpets they have some stuff that I actually enjoy.
yeah,
I'm I'm into the heavy stuff. All right,
yeah.
Ethan
Riddick's a
he's
bit
into it
heavy guy.
all. My taste is a bit weird because I'll go from that like what Darko is, Shalvin Intent,
Mm-hmm.
just absolutely brutal bands. I go from that to like NWA and Ice Cube, West Side Connection, just that
Yeah,
gangsta rap.
yeah. Riddick's a huge classic rap fan. Is it like 80s, 90s? Yeah,
90s, yeah. So like yeah, NWA, Easy E, MCA, Ice Cube, West Side
yeah,
Connection, all that stuff. Tupac,
yeah. Tupac's
but
great.
yeah, psychedelic porn crumpets is fantastic.
Yeah, Gizzard dropped two songs this year as well, or maybe just one. I'm not sure. I think one might have come out last year. But so King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard is another psychedelic band from Australia,
They
and
they are also very good. I like them a lot.
yeah, they're incredible at what they do. And they dropped a new song right at the end of 2020, called "If Not Now, Then When," and then they also released a new song like I think like a week or two ago called "One." And they're supposed to be dropping two albums this year, I believe, and I am really excited
Shoot.
because so King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard is another psychedelic band, and they are known for having some of the most complexly performed music on the entire planet. So
Didn't they get the album of the year in Australia last
I
year?
I would imagine that they had to because
They got it and players got either second or third place if I remember correctly.
yeah, I mean so King Gizzard is a very interestingly composed band. They are made up of their lead singer and guitarist, Stu McKenzie. He's the mastermind behind all of their production work. Just an absolute genius of music. I don't know a lot of the other band members' names, but we have two other guitarists that aren't Stu. You also have their harmonica player, you have their bassist, and you have two drummers. One of their drummers actually just left because he is the CEO of Flightless Records, which is the record company that produces all of the presses for King Gizzard. But he's stepping down from the band so that he can focus on Flightless, which was kind of sad because the two drummers just absolutely worked incredibly together. But they're still a phenomenal band nonetheless. They've done an incredibly wide range of music, from jazz fusion to garage rock, and actually they've also dived into something called microtonal rock. But so King Gizzard has a really wide range of music, and they've delved quite deeply into microtonal rock, which uses a lot of the note structures from the Middle East and Asia, which incorporates microtones, which microtonal rock, which it gets its name from there, obviously. And essentially, the way that a microtone works is so there is C and C sharp, but there is a note in between C and C sharp that is essentially a quarter step instead of a half tone. And essentially, they have special custom made guitars that incorporate those microtones so that they can reach those extra frequencies that are used so heavily in Middle Eastern and Asian music. And they've released two albums so far. The one that they've released originally was Flying Microtonal Banana from 2017, and last year, which is their latest album, which is called KG, which is the sequel to Flying Microtonal Banana, and it is absolutely incredible what they are capable of doing with non-traditionally Americanized or European sounds that are now popularized in places like America and Europe because of this band's work.
They are a very interesting band, and I enjoy them very much. I don't listen to them, but every time you put them on, I always turn the bottom because I do enjoy them a lot.
Yeah.
And
I would continue talking about them, but there's just so many different albums with such a wide range of complexity in music that I could literally spend an entire episode talking about them.
yeah. Um. Oh yeah, Loath's new album just came out.
Yeah, Loathe came out with a new album. We haven't listened to that yet, together at least.
No,
I know you've
yeah,
listened to it.
no, I haven't.
You haven't yet, really? Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
you were waiting
yeah,
for
I
me.
want to do a listen party.
Yeah, okay, we should do that for sure then.
Yeah, but that just came out, which I don't know what to expect because their album from last year, I let in and it took everything. That was so just absolutely astounding because they play in tunings that normally you'd play on an 8 string, and they play it on a 6 string, and
Yeah,
it's insane that there's their lyrical writing, their guitar work, their instrumental work is so crazy. They
yeah,
incorporate so many different noises and just all these different tones. Um, for instance, my favorite song off of I Let It In and Took Everything. It's Between New Faces in the Dark and
hmm
a two-way mirror. I said two-faced mirror. Two-way
yeah,
mirror. Just completely different song. New Faces in the Dark starts off with this nice, just dark dissonance, just but
hmm
yeah, it's clean. It's clean and it's just dissonant. And they just jump straight into heaviness. They play in drop E,
hmm
which normally like Currents plays in that. On their newest album, they have like 3 or 4 songs that are in drop E. You
hmm
play that shit on an 8 string. They play it in on a 6 string. It's crazy.
Yeah, that
Um,
is some crazy low
they
tuning.
just
Those might as well be bass strings.
honestly they start off with just this nice clean dissonant, just playing, and then out of nowhere you get fucking smacked with just
hmm
that E, and it just keeps hitting you. Um, Kashim, France. I think it's how you pronounce it. I don't know if it's can pronounce France or France. I
hmm
don't know because everyone pronounces it differently. I just say France because it sounds fancier. And I'm like that. But he just hits you with his absolutely astounding vocals,
Oh yeah.
heavies and cleans,
Oh yeah.
and then their guitarist slash clean vocalist. I can never remember his name. And I'm sorry because he's liked my tweets before. Uh, Eric. Eric. I know his first name's Eric. His last name is something weird. Um, but his vocals are amazing. They find ways to jump between heavy and clean, and it's a work of art. And that
Absolutely.
entire album, I know they for a fact they incorporate some industrial noises in there.
Oh yeah.
Um, like they have noises in there where it just sounds like a construction site that's on fire, but they just don't care. They're trying to keep working,
Yeah.
and and somehow it sounds good, but
Yeah, I would definitely say
they
my two favorite songs from that album are "Is It Really You" and "Aggressive Evolution." I
aggressive, so
Aggressive
good.
Evolution has some incredible riffs in it. It's just so punchy and just it's just very guttural, and it's just all around the entire song is just morphed around. I mean, not even just the song. Most of the album is morphed around this just very clanky and chunky guitar work that we didn't really expect. I mean, the album cover looks like it's going to be this very low key, somber vibe, and then you get into it and it throws you straight into the deep end. But even then, it throws you between these very soft melodies and these very chunky riffs in so many different
It's
songs.
an I like to interrupt you here real quick.
Yeah, go right
It's an
ahead.
album. I just want to say this. It's an album that anyone can listen to. If you
Absolutely.
like even if you like just rap, like full blown just this shitty new age rap, XXX Tentacle Man. I'm sure you'd enjoy at least one song off that album. No matter what, you'll never hate. every song on there. It's impossible. I don't see how it's possible to hate every single song. You have
Yeah.
to like at least one song from that album because they speak to so many different audiences. Um, I have friends who absolutely hate metal, and
Mhm.
they love songs like Two Face Mirror. I keep saying Two Face Mirror. God damn it. Two Way Mirror and Aggressive Evolution. Um, oh, I'm trying to think of that other one that's I probably should just before jumping into this album listen to it a bit, but it's just fantastic. You can't hate every song on the album. You have to like at least one song, and I guarantee that if you listen to it, no matter who you are, you will not be disappointed whatsoever. You might hear
It's
the heavy stuff and
yeah.
go, but it's not a very heavy album, and the songs that are heavy, they're heavy.
Yeah.
But
I mean, cuz
continue.
especially with the the way that they frame from the beginning of the song, Is It Really You? The way that that song is framed is just incredible. It has such a it has a very intimate sounding synth that brings you in very very close for a roughly like 80-second intro. And you're sitting there with these very like atmospheric sounds with the synth, and there's just very slow melody that's you can
Peaceful.
tell is in a minor key, but yeah, it's very peaceful sounding. And then right at the end of it, you get a little break, and it ropes you into these very powerful and emotional chords. And the clean vocals from, I'm sorry, can you remind me of the singer's name?
There's Kashim does both uh screams and cleans,
Hmm.
but it's mostly done by Eric.
Okay, so then I guess it was Eric's cleans for specifically that song then. Um,
Yes,
the clean vocals on that song are immaculate. The reverb and the effects that they throw on it to match the guitar tone and the synth that's still running through the background, but in a little bit more of an aggressive tone than it was right at the beginning. It is a masterpiece of an album.
it is. It's amazing. You just can't hate the entire thing. Um, I'm trying to look up his last name. Um, but just fantastic,
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic. That album is so good, and the fact that they came out with another one is it's literally it looks so far it looks the same, and
Hmm.
I am so
Yeah. That
excited.
wide variety of sound will never get old for sure.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and I will always love Loathe.
Absolutely, yeah. Well,
Also, his last name is his full name is Eric Baker Staff.
Baker stuff. Okay.
Baker
Well,
Staff, not
oh
Baker.
no,
Okay.
I said Baker staffed. I thought it was with a D at the end.
Oh, okay.
But so we've been going for a little over an hour now. Do you want to wrap things up real quick?
Yeah, sure. Let's wrap it up real quick.
So,
Um,
do you mind if I say a couple things and you can say your piece?
yeah, go for it.
So just for a little heads up for the future, we're gonna be starting up a couple series alongside this main podcast. They're gonna be under the moniker of Music Madness. And essentially, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing reviews of singles that are being dropped and singles that we've really liked from albums if we don't want to review the entire album. We're going to be reviewing full albums from start to finish. We'll be talking about our favorite songs. And within these episodes, we'll be breaking down lyrics and examining specifically what makes our ears happy. And alongside that, we're going to be examining soundtracks from games and movies as well. So there's going to be a lot of different content in the specifically the music scene alongside other content that we're going to be making on this main podcast. All right, Riddick, do you have any
Yeah.
closing thoughts?
Um, this is something that we're gonna try to do as much as possible. I'm going to Tennessee in just about a week, actually, exactly 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm gonna be gone for a bit, but Ethan and I want to try to get this as something that we can just do whenever we feel like it. We don't want to push ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But considering it's something we enjoy because we do this anyways.
Yeah,
We've been doing this for the last almost 2 years and we just haven't recorded it. That's the only
yeah,
difference. Um, so we made this just to get our opinions out there and talk with people that feel the same way and like the same things as us. Because
yeah,
Ethan and I, we're both gaming freaks, but we're also just absolutely invested in the music. I'm personally music and movies are like my two just favorite things in the world,
mm-hmm.
and That's why I wanted to do the soundtrack thing
Yeah,
because
absolutely. It was a fantastic idea.
it's absolutely so many good games and movies with fantastic soundtrack.
Yeah, like just stuff that
But
we just like should not ignore, just at
exactly.
all.
But
Well, if
uh,
if anyone has made it this far, thank you for listening. So much for listening to our first episode of This Shouldn't Exist. Once again, we are Shunned Media on Twitter, ShunnedMedia on Twitter. We're going to be posting this probably onto YouTube for the first episode, and then we'll be branching out a little bit more, maybe on Spotify. It will be most likely will be announced on our Twitter or an Instagram if we end up making one of those, and we may end up
we have
releasing.
an Instagram.
We do have an Instagram. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yes. It's the same tag.
okay.
Shunned Media.
Same tag as the Twitter. Um, and we are essentially. I mean, this is us. Welcome. I hope you stay. Bye.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Goodbye.